So it might look like funding is the only factor to consider when choosing what business school to apply to or what offer to accept. But that is not true. There's so many other factors that you need to consider. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 factors or 5 things to consider when applying to business school or when trying to decide on what schools offer to accept. I know you clicked on this video because you're interested, so definitely keep watching. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fisayo, and on this channel I share all the good stuff, so definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon right beside the subscribe button so you stay notified every single time I share new content. Okay, so our video for today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 factors to consider when applying to school. Now, because I've spoken a lot about funding, many people might be tempted to believe that that is the only thing you need to look out for in a school when you're applying to them or when you're trying to decide whether to accept their offer. Now, that is not correct. The essence of sharing this video with you is to give you some things to consider, some questions to ask yourself. I had a priority list, and I was just fortunate to be able to get some of the top 3 things on my priority list in the school that I was offered admission. So with these factors now, the take home for you would be actually listing out these factors by yourself and then ranking them, prioritizing them. Which one is number 1 for me? Which one is number 2? Which one is number 3? Which one is number 4? Which one ranks last, for me? And I'm sure that this will give you a better sense of direction on how to continue on your business school application journey. All right, so number 1, it's the network. Now you need to consider the diversity of the network of the school that you're applying to. Is it by virtue of the largeness of the class or the length of existence of the program? Now it could be any of these 2 things or more. In business school, you are there to learn. You are there to immerse yourself in different cultures, in different backgrounds. So you should be looking for a program that would give you an opportunity to interact with different people of different backgrounds and with different experiences from different parts of the world, so that you can share ideas and insights and also build long-lasting relationships. You absolutely need to be looking out for the alumni network. Now, an alumni network is very important because it gives you a sense of community in any stage of life that you are at. If you go to a school that has a very broad alumni network, you would always have a home or a community in any part of the world that you find yourself. So take, for instance, a school that has been in existence for 50 years, 100 years, and they've had so many, they've had large classes. Being part of an alumni network is an asset for life, right? Being part of an alumni network is definitely an asset for life. So you definitely want to consider, the broadness of the alumni network for the schools that you're looking to apply to. Now, bringing it back to the largeness of the class, some people, and for you, if you think that you actually need hand-holding during your business school journey, you may not want to go to a very large school, a school that has a very large class size, that the ratio of professor to students is huge. If you think you need hand-holding, then maybe go to a school with a smaller class size where you get individualized or personalized recommendations to every question that you have. You don't just want to go to a big school where you would always be treated in groups. You would never have any individualized or personal, connections with any of the staff members. So this is something to also have in mind. The network, how large is the network? How small enough is it for you? How personal is business for the school? Now, number 2 is the prestige or, rank of this school, which is a very huge thing for many people. And many people ideally want to go to schools that are prestigious. Some people take pride in the fact that many people know the names of their schools. So for instance, if for some people, they're like, oh, if I ask you, do you know Stanford? You're like, yeah, I know Stanford. And then if they ask you, oh, do you know Olin Business School? And you're like, I don't know Olin. Now, if you don't know Olin, that's on you. That's not on the person who is asking. So like you're just not vast in the knowledge of the schools. Now for some people, they take pride in, going to schools that everybody knows. Like they want to go to a school where you don't have to, ask several people if you know this school. But some people do not have that kind of mindset. If prestige, brand, or ranking is something that is top of mind for you, you should definitely be going to at least one of the top 50 schools in the United States. Now, while I want to recommend that, because like if you're going to a top business school in the US, you can be sure of the kind of educational qualities that you will get in terms of the technical knowledge and the soft skill, right? But as much as I would like to say that, I know that the rankings are fluid and they change from time to time. But definitely, if ranking if brand name or ranking is top of mind for you, then go for it. Now, the third thing is location. Location can have a huge impact on your student experience, and for some, it also might affect their careers post-graduation. Some people want to go to a location where it's very touristy so that they can be traveling every weekend, they can be sightseeing every weekend. Some people want to go to a location where the weather is great, where the weather is similar to what they experienced in their home country. Some people want to go to a location where it's completely different from what they've ever experienced before. Some people want to live the city life because that's just the life they want to live. Some people want to live in more rural areas where they can afford the cost of living there. Some people want to live in the areas where they feel like their target jobs, the market for their target job is based there. So for instance, somebody who's going into entrepreneurship, they've done some research and they see that, San Francisco is a tech hub, is a startup tech hub. They're like, okay, I want to go to a school that is based in San Francisco, is close to San Francisco. So location is a big thing. It's not the same for everyone, because some people, they're like, I'm just going to be in business school for 2 years, and after that, I'm going to go to any other location, which is fine, which is what many people actually do. But some people go into business school with the mindset that I'm going into business school and I'm going to just pitch my tent in there and continue my life from the place that I have stayed during school, which is totally fine. But something to definitely absolutely keep in mind is the location of the school. Now, the fourth thing is your post-MBA career, if it's niche or not. So some people, right, they come into business school with an idea of a specialization that they want to take. And for some people, they do not. They just want to open themselves up to different, dynamics or different courses or different opportunities for learning. Now, if your post-MBA career is niche and you have found that, okay, the companies that you're looking to recruit to, they only hire from this type of schools, then it will be wise for you to put those schools in your pool, right, as the schools that you'll be looking to apply to. Because there's no point if you consider that, okay, this is the type of career that I want to pursue, and from the research that I've seen that it's only this type of schools that these companies typically come to. But some people, like for instance, I know people who are going into tech, some people who are going to operations, some people are going to HR. Like those jobs are not, school specific, right? You can literally go to any school and get a job in any of those companies or in any of those sectors. So it's something to think about. If your post-MBA career is not niche, then you may want to open up yourself to different types of business schools, knowing fully well that you would be able to get your post-MBA career or your post-MBA job without actually sticking to a particular type of school. One thing I would highly recommend is for you to go into the career reports of each school that is on your radar. Go into the career reports. You'll typically find this on the school's website. Go in and see who the top hiring companies for these business schools are. That way, you open up yourself to a huge network of alums from the school who are already working in these companies that you are looking to apply to, and you can start making those one-on-one conversations or connections with them, just so that you can get an idea of what made the application stand out and how work is like for them, or what the culture is like at the organization that they currently work. In connection to your post MBA career, another thing that you should absolutely be checking out for is what kind of resources do the schools provide to their alumni? What kind of community is built when you are an alum, right? Do you still feel, does the school still keep you in the loop of activities? Do they completely abandon you? Is that important to you? Your long-term goals still require that you are still largely connected to your school. I think this is something to have in mind and to think about. Now to point number 5, which is funding. It's funding, and for funding, many people, they are risk averse, they are loan averse, they don't want to take any forms of loan or the other. Some people just want to absolutely get 100% funding. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. For some people, they're like, I don't really care about funding. I know that after my MBA, I'm gonna get a job that is gonna be paying me like 150k or 200k, and I can be paying my loan in installments. It will help me with my credit score, or I have the financial capacity to handle this, or I just don't mind, or maybe I'm looking to get a job that would provide me with some kind of funding, or will provide me with some kind of assistance to cover up for my loan, because there's so many jobs like that that help students in paying back their loans. So for some people, they're like, no, they don't really care so much about it. I was so lucky that I got 3 of the things on my priority list. So in these 5 things that I just listed out to you, I had 3 that were top priority for me, and the schools that I actually got admitted into with funding actually had these 3 things. So I was just very lucky. And I want you to be able to make your own priority list. I want you to be able to rank these things that I have said, and then use this as a benchmark for applying to or accepting an offer from each school. I hope you found this insightful. If you did, don't forget to hit like on this video. Don't forget to drop a comment on what things you learned, or any question that you have for me. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.